The waiting games of the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. So, I've created this video over 5 different times, over 5 different years. This is a fresh version of it. I will create a playlist later this evening on the waiting games of the narcissist, where you can watch not only my growth, my mindset, but you can figure out more about the waiting games of the narcissist and other games. You see, the narcissists did their best to trap you. They did their best to trick you. They did their best to blame you, and they did their best to keep you on the hook. Meaning, let's fast forward to the ending of the relationship that you were a part of with a person who turned out to be toxic and maybe even narcissistic. Did they give you closure? No, they didn't. Did they give you any sitting down at the coffee table and having an adult conversation? Absolutely not. Did they introspect? No, they didn't. Were they accountable? No. Did they blame you? Absolutely. Did they instill or administer or ignite a smear campaign? Yes, yes, and yes. Was the person you're considering ever loyal or faithful or committed to you? No, no, and no. That is just a little bit of wisdom, some nuggets I unpacked for you in the first minute, 14 seconds. Stay with the video till the very end. You're going to find more wisdom in this video than in the other 5 videos I've created about the waiting games of the narcissist. You see, the narcissist lurks around corners. They hide behind social media. They are spying on people using bogus accounts and using flying monkeys and enablers. And they are watching you, whether you know it or not. Now, that's not meant to trigger you or upset you. It is a reality that the narcissist needs to be in control, and they need to see what other people are doing, because the narcissist is not only in competition with you, yeah, they still are, but they're in competition with anybody. And that includes their kids, their stepkids, their spouses, plural, their siblings, their parents, anyone. And this is not good, because when you are in a relationship with a person who is committed to learning about you and destroying your life, and you're an open book, you are extremely vulnerable, you are naive, you don't know what's about to happen, and you are exactly where the narcissist wanted you. You see, the narcissist most likely love bombed you. They most likely got as close to you as they possibly could and assimilated themselves with you and figured out what made you tick, what kind of level of empathy you had, what kind of money you had, what you had done in the past, where you were going right now, and where you wanted to land in the future, which essentially means they learned about your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, and everything about you. And you, again, as I shared, twice in the video, you were an open book. You didn't know what narcissism was, so how could you know that the person you were sharing information with was going to weaponize that against you at a later date, or maybe even that evening? You didn't know it, you could not know it, but now you're realizing it, and now you're realizing that the narcissist plays the waiting games. Think about when you were with the narcissist. Were they on their smartphones when they were sitting right next to you, or maybe across the dinner table from you, or in the car? Absolutely. Their smartphone is essentially a third arm, and it is connected to either of their ears. That's why the narcissist usually has smartphones, plural, not one. And again, if you have more than one smartphone, it doesn't mean you're the narcissist, so don't think that. I'm sharing with you that if the narcissist has one battery run out with a smartphone, just like with a supply source, they're going to put the smartphone down. Actually, they won't even place it. They'll probably just throw it on the couch and insert a new phone, just like they do with supply sources. They insert supply sources so effortlessly because at their core, the narcissist is shallow, they're hollow, they're cowards, they're bullies. There's nothing to them. And when you don't care about people, which is what the narcissist, that's how they live, then people are interchangeable. People are meant, as far as the narcissist is concerned, people are meant to be used, abused, manipulated, and they get what's coming to them. And you may think, whoa, that's a really difficult pill to swallow, Andrew. Why would you even say that? I would say it because, number one, it's true. Number two, because you don't think like the narcissist, and you need to really understand that you are the polar opposite of the narcissist. Why do you think you have to heal from the narcissistic relationship? Why do you think I create videos? Why do you think this is the relationship you have to heal from? It's because the narcissist did damage to you. And what they were doing, you got it. I'm going to tie it together now. They were waiting for the moment when they could discard you. They were waiting for the moment when your health would take a hit. They were waiting for the moment when your parents would pass away and you would inherit the beach houses. They were waiting for the moment when you would retire and they would live off your 401k. They were waiting for a certain something, and once that certain something took place, they were waiting for something else. But what were they doing when you were with them in the relationship? They were steering you down a road that leads to Destructionsville. Each and every narcissistic relationship ends up there. It's a junkyard. It's an abandoned area where people are discarded. Now you may say, wow, that's rough, Andrew. Well, it is rough, but again, I was through the cycle and I'm out and I've healed, so I'm paying it forward to help you out, to give you answers to the questions that you may not even have right now. But that Destructionsville place, that's a place where the narcissist, before they met you, they were accustomed to dropping people off, using the smear campaign, stealing all those people's time, money, and energy, and then propelling themselves to the next leg of their life using a new supply source. Well, that had worked until when? You nailed it. Until it didn't, because you're different. You're cut from a different cloth. And so whereas in the past, the narcissists' waiting games, they would wait for someone to perhaps reach out or text them or call them or plead or beg or say they love them, etc. And guilty as charged, did the whole thing way back when. This is before I knew narcissism. Yes, I was broken. If you're ever questioned how far I've come, take a look at the playlist I made. It's called Glad You Made It. That's the first video I ever created, March 31st, 2021, 5+ years ago. I've come a very long way. My hope is you're doing the same thing. But you see, the narcissist discards people because they don't care about people. Then they wash, rinse, repeat. And then they play the waiting games. Truth of the matter is the narcissist was playing the waiting games before you even met them, and I'll jump into that in a minute. But what the narcissist post-narcissistic relationship, what they were waiting for, was to see how good the new supply would be and to see your demise unfold right before their very eyes. You see, the narcissist was grabbing their popcorn. As the monkey branch from the relationship they were in with you to the new supply, they were getting the best of every world possible in their tiny little sick, twisted, demented mind, which is this. The narcissist was saying, yeah, I'm love bombing this person and this is my new life. And look at me, I'm just doing so great and I've reinvented myself and everything's fantastic. Oh, but this poor person I used to be with, they have such problems. They have such mental instability and I hope they're getting help and I really hope that they're going to be okay. But I know that they have a lot of concerns. Now, you notice how I just threw in the charm there and I acted to a degree and I changed my tone of voice and all that. There's your narcissist right there. No, not me. That's an example, silly. What I'm sharing with you is the narcissist can play any angle of any emotional card on anybody they want to until you got it, until you get the message. When you get the message, that's when you close the chapter of the book on the narcissist permanently, once and for all. Permanent closure of access from the narcissist to you is necessary for you to cut all 4 ties. And what are the 4 ties that were connected with you and the narcissist? The emotional, the financial, the physical tie, and of course the spiritual tie. These must be cut by you, for you, and to benefit you. And so while you're working on yourself and the narcissist is already monkey branched to the new supply, as they had done many times before, they were watching your life implode up close and from afar. When I say up close, they probably still had people connected to you that were giving them information about you. This is post-relationship, but you didn't know any of this. You weren't taught Narcissism 101, so how could you know it? But then what happened with you? Not someone else, with you. You figured it out. You found that needle in a haystack and you began to work on yourself. And yeah, it was challenging. Yes, it was difficult. Yeah, it wasn't fun. Yes, you were probably still caught up in the trauma bond, the devaluation stage. You were certainly in the narcissistic fog and you had a very long road in front of you, just like me. Now again, if you knew back then what you know now, who knows what would have happened, but now you know so much more. And now you know that you are cut from a different cloth than most people because you figured it out and you're now working on yourself. So now I'm going to fast forward to present day, this day, today, which is July 14th or 15th, July 15th, 2026. As you are healing or healed, wherever you are in the journey, the narcissist is still playing the waiting games. Yes, they are. Not with you, although you may think that they are or aren't, but they're not because you've already gone no contact. Once you go no contact with said person, you send a clear, succinct message directly to them and others, but mainly to them, that you want nothing to do with them. You do see behind the mask. You do know that you were disrespected, that you were treated horribly, you were abused, manipulated, trick-trapped, and taken advantage of, and yeah, dumped off at that place called Destructionsville. But now that you see the light, and now that you can read energy, and now you know that narcissism exists, that sends the message to the narcissist. Remember, your silence does the talking for you. for you. Your silence speaks volumes. The less you share with people about yourself, the stronger you get. I'm talking about people that perhaps don't have your best interest at heart. And of course, the top of that list is, yes, the narcissist. But the waiting games of the narcissist, here we go. One, the narcissist was vetting you. They were spying on you, whether you knew it or not, from the minute they met you until possibly even today. I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is this. When they first met you, they were juggling other sources of supply, and they were trying to figure out which one would do so they could discard the old source and jettison into a new relationship. And unfortunately, you won the award, just like I did. Why you won it was because you were a clean slate, you had a high level of empathy, you were naive, vulnerable, and you were committed. These are all checking boxes for the narcissist. You didn't know any of these things, now you do. So what happened? Well, the narcissist, as they were grooming and vetting other people when they were first meeting you, they said, wait, this person, you, has an awful lot in their tank. And they have a lot. Oh my gosh, and they're an empath? Wow, I heard about those people, I read about them, but I've never actually met one. I need to lasso this person. Again, it was you. It was definitely me. And I'm gonna corral them, and I'm gonna love bomb them as much as I need to. If it takes a day, a week, a couple months, hopefully not longer than that. I'm acting like the narcissist and I'm not. And then I'll get them under my spell, under my trance. I will have them feel compelled to talk to me. I will have them feel compelled to make my day better. I will have them feel compelled to do what I need them to do. And if they do it, great. I will give them more of an endless to-do list to accomplish later today and tomorrow. And if they don't, I'll punish them. But once I get them in the invisible mental prison, then I will keep them trapped and captured for as long as I can. That's what the narcissist says. And so this is why the waiting games of the narcissist will continue as long as narcissism exists, because you were trapped, lured into a web just like that. You made it out though, and you made it out in one piece. Once you're out, you stay out. Once you're out, you heal. Once you're out, you go no contact. Once you're out, you want nothing to do with negativity, dark energy, and mainly narcissism or worse. But for the narcissist, the waiting games continue. Remember those other people that the narcissist was vetting while they were vetting you? Well, whatever happened with those people? Here we go. Any one of those people, most likely when you were discarded, was now being showered with fake affection or fake love bombing, or love bombing, whatever you want to call it, because now you could be thrown under the bus. You didn't work out. You were the bad apple. You didn't do anything. You were painted pitch black. And now the narcissist could leverage that relationship that they had with you with a new supply, which is one of those people earlier when you were being groomed and vetted by the narcissist. It was one of those people that were hoping that they had an opportunity to get abused by the narcissist. Funny, not funny. Point being is one of those people now probably took your shoes. Now, if it wasn't one of those people, meaning the new supply, then it was somebody else. But anyway you cut it, the narcissist was waiting. They laid out traps all over this planet called Earth on social media, in their same town jurisdiction, at the workplace, at the coffee shop, at the gym, in their building, wherever they live, etc. They laid out these traps, and then eventually somebody will fall into a trap. And when they do, the narcissist goes, checks on the trap and says, ooh, that's a keeper. Or, no, I'm gonna throw that one back, don't need that one. You see, this is what the narcissist does. I'll give you a different example. Fishermen at the ocean. It could be anywhere, but let's use the ocean. I love the ocean. You should too. The ocean, say there's a fisherman and they're on the land and they have 10 fishing poles. The big, long fishing poles that go into the deep ocean. Well, they cast those lines in the ocean. If they get a bite and it's from something that they want to keep, well, they'll keep the fish. My hope is they catch and release, but let's say they keep the fish. Okay, well, that's a keeper. Every now and again, or actually more often than not, then the fishermen will catch fish that they have no use for. So they will throw the fish back in the ocean. My hope is the fish swim away and live an abundant and peaceful life. But see, this is what the narcissist does, using that fishing analogy. They're just looking for anyone to get on the hook, anyone of value. And that was you. Again, it was me. Now, having said all these things, when you realize that the waiting games of the narcissist, they will keep on going in perpetuity. They will just keep going around and around. And the narcissist is spying. They are lurking. They're creeping. They're peeking. They are abusing. They're manipulating. They're wearing masks. And they're crawling and slithering all over this planet called Earth. Having said that, the waiting games of the narcissist, think about it. Let's go back in time when you were in the relationship. Before you were discarded, if you were, and again, my heart goes out to you, what do you think the narcissist was waiting for? Right. They were waiting for the kids to graduate high school, or you to get the 401k, or you to reach a certain age of retirement, or the business to finally earn 6 or 7 figures, whatever it was. Whatever here's one I don't talk about that often. Perhaps the narcissist was waiting for the new supply to give them the green light. Very, very possible. Now, I don't talk about the new supply nearly as much because I believe your time is better off spent focusing on yourself and not necessarily the new supply. However, we were the new supply. I wasn't, so were you. So we have to give them attention, even though it stings at times and sometimes it doesn't. But maybe that's what the narcissist was waiting for. But I can assure you, the narcissist is waiting and waiting and waiting. And let's go back to some smaller examples that you may think are huge, or maybe they're huge examples you may think are small. But think about all the waiting you did when you were with the narcissist. All the times you went to pick them up at work and you had to wait for them. What were you doing? You were spending your life waiting for a person who didn't care about you. Another one, you were home, you're cooking dinner. Maybe you cooked a 2, 3, 4, 10-course meal, whatever you did. You're all excited. It's your anniversary or your birthday or something. I don't know what it is. And you said, hey, be home at 7:30. Dinner's going to be at 7:30. And then we're going to watch a movie at 9:30. It's going to be chill. We're going to have just the two of us, unplug our phones. It's going to be so romantic and peaceful, and it's going to be blissful. What happens? Well, the narcissist knew that that's what you wanted to do. So what happened? Not only were they late, but they probably were cheating on you with the new supply, but they blew up that night and you were waiting and waiting and waiting. Here's one for you. How often did you wait to hear the narcissist? This is, again, before you knew what narcissism was. How often did you wait for that person to just once, just one time, say, hey, I apologize. I was wrong. What was I thinking? You never got that. How about this one? When the narcissist would be a slow draw on paying the bill. Maybe you took them to lunch or dinner or whatever. Maybe the narcissist was a friend. I don't know who it was, but maybe they were doing the slow draw, like trying to pull their wallet out of their purse, like, but they acted like they had an arm injury, so they're letting you pay for it. But they did that over and over again. See, you were waiting for them just one time to say, hey, I got this one, I'll pay for it. Never happened, did it? No, it didn't. How about when the narcissist, how about when you were with them, maybe you had an hour of peace. You probably had a couple hours in any one year, but let's say when you were with them, I'm talking physically with them. But let's say that you had a day that was peaceful and you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. Tomorrow, maybe we can have a peaceful weekend, and you're holding your breath, and then Sunday came and no, they blew it up. Why? Because it was too good to be true, just like the narcissistic relationship in a nutshell. See, you were waiting for days that would never arrive. You were waiting for behaviors that would never arrive. You were waiting for a change in the narcissist. You were waiting for them to do the right thing just once. You were waiting for closure. You were waiting for transparency. You were waiting for authenticity. You were waiting, waiting, and waiting. When you finally cut the cord with these people, you cut the 4 ties, you will realize it's the narcissist who will be waiting for the rest of their life. You won't be waiting any longer because your life will be so chock full of abundance with the wisdom, the education. You could now read energy, you will have boundaries, and you will maintain them, and you will realize that, wow, did you dodge a bullet? Now, you may say you didn't dodge a bullet. You may say you got struck by a lot of damage, which would be true. But my vantage point, and I will always adhere to this, and I stand by it, is when you're out, if you made it out and you're healing, you're in the very, very small microcosm of people who have actually escaped the clutches, the jaws of the narcissist and put themselves back together. You are rare and you're stronger than you know. So remember that. You're cut from the same cloth I am. You need to believe in yourself the way I believe in you. And you need to realize and recognize the games, the waiting games of the narcissist, they will continue because that's what the narcissist loves. 2 things. 1, games, and 2, keeping people waiting and keeping people on the hook of abuse and toxicity. That's why you need to close the chapter once and for all of the book on the narcissist. Never look back and continue to leave them in your rear view mirror once and for all. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. The waiting games of the narcissist, I barely scratched the surface in this 20-minute video. Again, I'm going to create the playlist later this evening. Check out the other videos. The whole point is, this is what the narcissist wants. They want you to hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait. And what were you hurrying up for? You were hurrying up because they knew that if time went by, that you may figure them out quicker. That's why they wanted to speed up the relationship. And waiting, it's because it keeps your life frozen. When you're waiting for somebody, you're spinning your wheels. And usually you get, I'll be blunt, I'm using a word I don't usually like to use, but when you're waiting and waiting and waiting, at times you get frustrated. And that's what the narcissist wants to do. They want to frustrate people. Then they want to get a reaction out of them and say, yep, told you, you're the narcissist. You're the toxic person. Well, that's why you need to understand, let these people do whatever they do, as long as you are nowhere near them when they do it. I love you all. God bless you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye. I hope you enjoyed the video. I loved it. Bye.